Tonight, charting a new course for Kitchener's A Better Tent City.
We're not government run, and we can help a lot of people.
The cost and the changes that could come if the region takes over the site. A community mourns 5 young lives lost.
We need to be together in the midst of tragedy and trauma.
The investigation into a fatal crash in Mapleton Township, as OPP say the driver of the other vehicle has also now died. And support for stroke survivors from those who know what it's like.
Just to let them know that there are people out there that have been through what they're going through.
A growing program that's bringing connection and hope during a difficult time.
You're encouraging me.
Good evening. The true cost of homelessness is once again front and center in Waterloo Region. This week, Council will decide if it will take over A Better Tent City, a tiny house community in Kitchener that offers refuge for those with nowhere else to turn. A report says doing so would come at a cost nearly $6 million a year. CTV's Jeff Pickle is following this for us today. Jeff, the transition would also mean considerable changes to how the site operates.
Well, Krista, A Better Tent City is a community-led organization that largely operates outside the bureaucracy and, frankly, the rules that go into how shelters operate when they are government-led. Right now, A Better Tent City has an open doors policy when it comes to visitors who are in need. If the region takes over, that is likely to change. Over the course of 6 years, A Better Tent City has been home to those with no place to turn.
And I have people's stuff that I store there.
During that time, it's also been home for co-founder Nadine Green.
And I'm also the living site coordinator. I have lived here for 6 years, so I've been living here since 2020.
But soon that may change. Last month, the board at A Better Tent City said they were in desperate need of help, and without intervention from the region, they would be forced to close. This Wednesday, Regional Council is getting a first look at what it will mean for them financially. According to a staff report, it will mean a total operating cost of $5.76 million, $2.9 million to actually run the site, and an additional $2.8 million to redirect the many visitors who use the facility and to help fund supportive housing. The transition would also likely mean the end to the open doors policy that guides A Better Tent City.
So how we do things here at A Better Tent City, we're kind of like the emergency room where people can come in and get help.
With a total of 42 tiny homes, the number of people on site can double with the number of visitors.
They don't have to call First Connect, they don't have to call anyone. They come in and they can get help. They stay if they want to stay, leave if they're leaving.
Green says their relaxed rules is a key to success and is worried regional oversight will turn people away.
That's what makes it work, and that's what makes it work for so long, because we're not government run and we can help a lot of people. Not to say that the government is not helping, but their model is different.
In addition to the nearly $6 million operating costs, the report says they will need an additional $2.5 million for one-time funding for repairs. The total cost of taxpayers, a 1% tax rate levy. Now, Green says if the region takes over, she will be out of a job and out of a home and then forced to apply to get a different job on site. That's something Green says she has no interest in doing. Again, this goes before council on Wednesday. Krista?
And we will be following that meeting Wednesday. CTV's Jeff Pickle reporting for us live tonight. Time for a check on the weather, so let's head over to Ashley Bacon now. Ashley, we started this day with some rain. For me, it happened right at school drop-off time, so not ideal. There was a scramble for umbrellas, but we found some. But the sun did come out later in the day.
Yeah, it was a bit of a turbulent start for the first week of summer, but, you know, overall, things started to shape up by this afternoon, Krista, and the good news is we're looking at least like a little bit of a break from the rain for Tuesday. So it's not going to be too bad. Overall conditions shaping up to be quite nice nice this hour as we take a look at our radar. You can see most of that wet stuff that was bringing us those scattered showers has pushed east and north of us. So we might see a pop-up shower here and there, but overall conditions clearing through the overnight hours and into your Tuesday. Right now, we're still sitting at a very comfortable 21 degrees out there. Southeasterly wind at 7 kilometers an hour. So a perfect night to maybe go out for a stroll, maybe hit up a patio for dinner. It is going to continue to be beautiful out there for at least a few more hours. As you see around southern Ontario, temperatures right around the low 20s range for the most part. So we are going to continue to see that nice weather. As I said, Krista, rain is likely to come into play a little later in the week, but first sunshine.
All right, we will get all the details from you a little bit later. Thanks, Ashley. The death toll from the devastating crash in Mapleton Township has risen to 6. Ontario Provincial Police confirm a Brampton man, the driver and lone occupant of the SUV involved in the collision, died from his injuries. His death comes as the family and community members gathered for a funeral for 5 children, all siblings killed in the collision. CTV's Heather Senerin joins us live with these updates. Heather, the crash was 10 days ago now at 4th Line and Wellington Road 12.
We reached out to OPP today, but there hasn't been an update on what caused the crash. But over the weekend, we found out about the 6th person who died, while many gathered to pay respect to the lives lost. Wallenstein Bible Chapel filled with heavy hearts on Saturday as many gathered to mourn 5 young siblings aged 4 to 12, Peter, Helena, Sarah, Maggie, and Susie Dirksen. They were killed in a June 12th crash in Mapleton Township. The children, all from the Atwood area, were in a passenger van. The other vehicle, an SUV. In an update, Ontario Provincial Police said the driver of the SUV, a 42-year-old Brampton man, died in hospital Friday due to his injuries. The collision at 4th Line and Wellington Road 12 also left 5 other people in the passenger vehicle injured, including the Dirksen family's 15-month-old, who was released from hospital and is recovering at home. Their mother is still in hospital with serious injuries. Their father is continuing to heal. Another couple, unrelated to the Dirksen family, was also injured. A Mennonite pastor not associated with either family says support has been pouring in from across the region.
As I have been about in the community this past week, I have heard just this strong yearning, this need to respond. Some will be offering food. Some will be offering transportation to see family members in the hospital. Others, it is a spiritual resource of prayer.
As OPP continue to investigate what happened, the community is looking to honor the lives lost.
We need to be together in the midst of tragedy and trauma.
Police are asking anyone with information or dash cam footage of the crash to come forward. They're also reminding witnesses to the crash and bystanders who jumped in to help in the aftermath that there is support available for them as well. Krista.
CTV's Heather Senerin reporting for us live tonight. Thank you, Heather. Waterloo Regional Police are investigating a string of copper and telecommunications wire thefts from Cambridge business. Officers have responded to the property multiple times since March, resulting in thousands of dollars worth of stolen material. CTV's Spencer Turcott takes a look at one of the recent thefts caught on camera.
The surveillance video shows a wire theft in progress at an unidentified business within a Cambridge industrial park. It's one of 4 instances there in the last few months where suspects have entered the fenced compound near Raglan Road. In this video from April 11th, you see 2 suspects walk up to a storage bin at the property, reach inside, and walk away with $200 to $500 worth of copper wire. A fence was damaged in the process. Investigators believe this incident is connected to 2 earlier break-and-enters on April 4th and 6th. Approximately $3,000 worth of telecommunications wire was stolen. The suspects were seen leaving with the product using a wagon and bicycles. The investigation has also been linked to a March 21st theft where 3 people damaged fencing and stole around $2,000 worth of cable containing copper. This comes after Cambridge councillor Helen Schwery raised concerns in April about what she called the hidden cost of doing business in her city. A photo surfaced showing piles of stripped wires in a wooded area.
The cost of the damage that is so upsetting, the copper wire, there's a small cost to that. but it's the other damage that is incurred when the thefts occur.
This year, Waterloo Regional Police have dedicated resources specifically to scrap metal and wire thefts, including prevention and education efforts which run until early July. Between February and the end of May, police investigated 38 incidents involving scrap metal or wire thefts in Cambridge alone. They are reminding businesses, particularly in industrial areas, to keep valuable materials locked away. Spencer Turcott, CTV News.
Canada's sweeping bail and sentencing reforms will become law next month. And today we learned details of the changes to come. Bill C-14 is set to take effect on July 15th and includes provisions meant to make it more difficult to get bail for a variety of crimes. CTV's Rahim Ladani has the details.
Over the past few years, videos like these have become more common. Violent attempts of extortion against homes and businesses. More than 450 were reported in Peel Region last year. It's one reason why Brampton's mayor is welcoming stricter bail and sentencing laws.
We've had a revolving door justice system where the police spend far too much time on the same repeat, frequent flyers as we call them.
Politicians and law enforcement were in Brampton today touting Bill C-14, which became law last week. 80 changes to the criminal code, including requiring courts to consider when attacks are unprovoked and more consecutive sentences.
We needed to take a stronger approach when it came to violent repeat offenders, particularly on issues like extortion, home invasions, and auto theft.
Under the new law, some accused will have to convince the court why they should be released, instead of prosecutors arguing why they should remain in custody. It's a change which has been frustrating Peel police officers for years.
Our officers work incredibly hard to protect our community, but find themselves dealing over and over again with the same individuals.
With more people behind bars, more pressure will also be put inside already crowded remand centres, raising the question of safety for those who haven't been found guilty. Ontario's Attorney General says there is a plan.
We are building new facilities, but we're reopening old facilities that were closed by the previous government, several of them.
However, critics are skeptical, arguing some of the new facilities have triple bunking, with cells occupying more people than they're designed for. The Canadian Civil Liberties Association say the new bail and sentencing law is flawed at addressing the root causes of crime.
All of the new reverse onus provisions that are specific to offenses apply to people who have no criminal record, no history of violence, and no prior involvement with the law. And so there's a real disconnect between what we've been told this bill does and who it applies to and the reality on the ground.
The changes on bail and sentencing will come into effect on July 15th.
And that was CTV's Rahim Ladani reporting. Ontario's Education Minister has launched a new province-wide digital learning platform. It's set to be used in Ontario classrooms starting this fall. CTV's Siobhan Morris has more on the changes.
Here's 78 plus 21.
This grade 7 class is using Edwin to understand circle graphs. It's an online tool from textbook publisher Nelson, one the Education Minister calls a game changer.
Something that teachers can use to help make it a bit easier for them to deliver a consistent curriculum across the province of Ontario while still having flexibility in their classrooms.
Paul Calandra sees benefits for mums and dads too.
They're able to see what the lesson plan is. A parent can see how their child is progressing.
Some boards have been using Edwin for years, but this fall the program goes province-wide with $60 million from Queen's Park.
To me, this is just another distraction for the public to think that this government is doing something.
The Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario worries this is part of privatization creep.
Teachers do this job around the province in each of our cities, each of our towns, each of our communities. They do this all the time. We don't need to have an outsourced provider.
You hear similar concerns around new guidelines for high school exams and what makes up final grades.
When there's one cookie-cutter approach coming out of Queen's Park, I think it really undermines the professional judgment of teachers.
Starting this fall, there will be an attendance grade and exams for virtually every class, even gym. For 9th and 10th graders, exams will account for 20% of core subjects like English, math, and science. That bumps up to 25% in senior grades. Educators point out some students may not pursue post-secondary education.
And so the wisdom of subjecting them to a 90-minute or 2-hour exam really escapes me.
Don't expect new restrictions on cell phones at school in September, but a recent visit to Quebec schools where phones have to be locked up during the day left quite an impression on Calandra.
Kids were talking with each other, they were playing cards, and as you walked through the hallways to tour the school, the same thing, right? There was nobody on phones, very engaged. You looked out into the yard, kids were playing again.
He needs more time to talk with educators, school board leaders.
But I think we'll be coming out with something soon.
All of this comes a week after the province and educators began contract talks. This is expected to be a contentious round of bargaining. Teachers are pushing for smaller class sizes and more funding to address issues like school violence. Siobhan Morris, CTV News.
Canada's energy minister today announced what he called a new chapter for Canada's nuclear program, a strategy that outlines a plan for the sector both at home and abroad. But the plan is short on details when it comes to funding or specific projects. CTV's Graham Richardson reports.
They are complex and expensive, but also steady workhorses of electricity in Canada, nuclear reactors. The government announcing today they want an aggressive strategy to boost Canada's nuclear output.
We are writing the next chapter in one of Canada's greatest industrial success stories.
The plan, build up to 10 new reactors. Right now, 90,000 people work in the industry. They want to double that in the next decade and enter 4 international markets by 2040.
If our goal is to double our grid and reach net zero by 2050, there is no credible plan for Canada to do that without nuclear energy.
All those new reactors will need more uranium. NextGen's deposit of uranium in northern Saskatchewan at the Athabasca Basin is one of the world's largest. The company will build a mine here and partner with First Nations and Métis people.
It's a very exciting time. We're players now in that space, and it's a good future to look at in regards to where nuclear energy is going.
All of this new generation will create more waste. Eventually it will come here. The tiny town of Ignace in northwestern Ontario will be the site of a massive nuclear waste facility. The mayor says that has already benefited her town.
I've always said this is our future, and it's not just our future as in our Ignace and Wabigoon. It's Canada's future.
The Prime Minister was not involved in this strategy because of previous connections to companies that work in the nuclear space. The Prime Minister's office, when asked, would not tell us the names of those companies. Graham Richardson, CTV News, Ottawa.
Still ahead on CTV News, from high school to a hospital job. The program in Hanover helping students develop skills and enter the workforce.
A clear, comfortable night is shaping up for ahead, but what we're looking at is some fog in the morning and potentially overnight. What will that look like tomorrow? Your full details on that, as well as your full range forecast coming up. Stay with us.
Download the CTV News app and stay on top of local stories as they unfold.
We go to a dramatic scene unfolding.
Customize your feed and watch live wherever you are. CTVKitchener.ca, your home for news. When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
From survival to support, former stroke patients are returning to Brantford General Hospital and helping other stroke patients as they begin their physical and emotional journeys. CTV's Karis Mapp reports.
John Racine is back on his feet only a month after one of the scariest nights of his life.
Around 2 o'clock in the morning, I thought I had cramps, so I just slid off the bed. And then I called Lisa and she called the ambulance and everything.
It was at Brantford General Hospital where he learned he had suffered a stroke.
Wasn't too good because I couldn't feel nothing in my left side.
I remember John, first day, he said, Lisa, I can't live like this. If I have to be like this, I don't want to live.
Racine is now preparing to be discharged, but the journey wasn't one he had to make alone thanks to March of Dimes Canada.
We started actually in Kitchener, Waterloo in 2008 under Stroke Recovery Canada, and from there we blossomed, and now we're in 33 different hospitals across Ontario.
Their Peer Connection program connects stroke survivors with new patients to help them through the recovery process. David Young returned to the hospital stroke ward as a volunteer a year after suffering a stroke himself, and has since worked with dozens of patients, including Racine.
Just to let them know that there are people out there that have been through what they're going through.
I could see the light in John's eyes when, he said, I talked with David, and he was telling me about this peer program, and he said, Lisa, he had a stroke, and he looks fine. I said, and that's going to be you.
June is Stroke Awareness Month, and according to statistics from the Heart and Stroke Foundation, roughly 100,000 people suffer from a stroke every year in Canada.
It is the leading cause of disability in Canada, with about 1 million people currently living with a stroke, and they estimate that about a person is having a stroke every 5 minutes in Canada.
As Racine prepares to head home, he says he'll never forget all Young did for him.
He encouraged me quite a bit. He told me his story, and I told him mine, and from there on, I just kept on working in my bed and getting my legs moving and my arms and everything. So, and here we are, almost 4 weeks later, and I'm going home.
Karis Mapp, CTV News, Brantford.
A new program in Hanover is giving students with intellectual or developmental disabilities vital workplace experience during their final year of high school. CTV's Scott Miller has more on Project Search.
Gordon McDougall has been spending his final year of high school at the Hanover and District Hospital, learning skills that will help him when he soon enters the real world.
I'm in the dietary doing the breakfast trays for the patients for tomorrow. I just finished doing the water in those teacups for them recently.
McDougall is one of 5 Grey Bruce students with intellectual or developmental disabilities who spent grade 12 interning at the Hanover Hospital. They've experienced every part of the facility, working in departments like dietary, maintenance, administration, lab, and pharmacy.
The program itself is essentially a transition to work program. So students in their last year of high school that have cognitive and developmental disabilities have the opportunity to gain needed skills to help them be competitive in the workplace when they're applying for jobs.
Where they started with their skills very entry level, and once they've accomplished those skills, they want more. They're hungry for it. They're hungry to learn and add to their portfolio for the future.
This is the first of a 5-year partnership with the Hanover and District Hospital. The school board is hopeful that other employers jump on board because there are more students that require workplace experience before entering the real world.
So they'll go through 3 internships over the course of a full school year, where they'll spend about 6 weeks in each internship.
One of the Project Search participants, Ash, says she's been busy during her time at the hospital.
Solve problems, stuff that are broken.
Okay, cool.
Took out the garbage.
I learned a decent amount of things, and being around new people is one of them. To get to know them.
While the ultimate goal is to gather skills for other jobs, some of the students could end up working at the hospital in the end.
There's a couple candidates that I think would be great. There's different roles in my department that they could participate, administrative.
Year 2 of Project Search already has 6 students ready to go come September. In Hanover, Scott Miller, CTV News.
Here's a live look at River Bluffs Park along the Grand in Cambridge. Looks like this duck family is having a pretty nice evening, enjoying some sunshine. We did have a rainy start to the day, but the sun has come out and we are finishing this day enjoying its light. More showers are in the forecast later this week, though. Ashley will break it all down for us after the break. Also ahead, tackling ticks. How one family's scare led to the development of a new, more natural repellent. And a shower of golf balls on the 18th green at Galt Country Club. How this helicopter drop is raising money for a good cause. CTV's Ashley Bacon joins us now to break down the forecast. Ashley, summer has started officially.
Woohoo.
We had Father's Day weekend, so many of us probably spent a little bit of time outside.
Yes.
And now we're into the last week of school. So tell me, in the mornings, sunscreen or umbrellas?
I'm going to say both this week, Krista, just to make sure that you are covered, because we will see a little bit of everything. As you mentioned earlier in this show, you got caught in the rain this morning with your kiddos on the way to school. Definitely have those umbrellas handy for later in the week, but at least tomorrow, it looks like you'll get a bit of a break. A hat and sunscreen might be needed for tomorrow, though.
Okay, got it.
Just write the list for that last week of school. Let's take another look outside from Cambridge tonight and look at that beautiful shot. Dan Lochner, our camera operator, bring us this beautiful shot from Cambridge. The rowing club right by there. That is perfect conditions to be out on the water. I might have to grab my paddleboard after this shift ends and head on out, because with the wind being so light at the moment, ideal conditions to get out there. What a beautiful afternoon and a great way to start the first official week of summer. Of course, it started a little rainy this morning, but that sun promptly making its way out by the afternoon. And here we are looking at our future cast. We're going to continue to see those clear skies through the overnight hours and into your Tuesday. Now, of course, we will get a cloud here or there, but sunny conditions expected for your Tuesday nonetheless. But by Wednesday afternoon, rather, there is a chance for a little bit more rain moving in. As we take a look at what's happening across the country right now, 26 in Vancouver, a bit cloudy there, 24 in Prince George, a little cooler on the other side of the Rockies at the moment at 14. But as we take a look at Regina, 21 degrees and a mix of sun and cloud. Saskatoon's getting quite a bit of rain at the moment, and 16 Yellowknife, 21 Thompson, 22. So not too bad. As we push further east towards our nation's capital, 22 with a mix of sun and cloud in Ottawa, 22 in Montreal and Quebec City. A bit of rain happening in Quebec City at this hour. And in our easterly provinces, a mostly sunny day in St. John's at the moment, a comfortable 22 degrees in Fredericton. Halifax, a bit of a cooler day, 15 with some cloud cover. Here in southern Ontario, 21 degrees in Kitchener-Waterloo, 18 for Sarnia and Toronto, Ridgetown at 22. So pretty much the low 20s for most of southern Ontario this afternoon. As we look to what's happening overnight tonight, we're expecting a low of 10 degrees. Some fog patches could develop through the overnight hours. So if you are headed out, make sure to take your time and be careful on the roadways. Tomorrow, we're looking at temperatures around 21 degrees as a daytime high. It will bring with it a high or very high UV index of 8. So I will always say it, sun safe, sunscreen, hat, sunglasses. Well, that UV index is very strong. As we take a look at our almanac, as a reminder, what we should be for this time of year, 25 is our daytime high, 13 as our overnight low. So by comparison, not quite record-breaking, 2.2 set in 1992, a lot cooler than that 10 we'll see tonight. Looking at our 7-day forecast for Waterloo region, things get a little wet by Wednesday and Thursday, but the good news is, Krista, by the weekend, it really looks like summer has arrived. 24 with a mix of sun and cloud on Friday and Saturday. And in Lambton, Kent, Essex, similar conditions will be felt there as well. Temperatures slightly higher for the back half of the week, of course. We are looking at sunny conditions by Friday and 25, a mix of sun and cloud on Saturday, and then check out Sunday and Monday. We could see temperatures in that 30 zone. And lastly, in southern Georgian Bay, 26 for your Wednesday with showers. Looking at a chance for a thunderstorm on Thursday and 23, and then again a beautiful weekend looking like it's ahead. Mix of sun and cloud, 24, 23, and 25. So not too bad for that first week of summer, Krista. Let's take a look at today's Weather Watcher picture sent in by Nancy, who snapped this photo of the summer solstice sunset. You say that 5 times fast. Oh, my word. From Atwood. What a beautiful start to a new season. Stunning. Stunning shot. Thanks for sharing that, Nancy.
Amazing. And I'm very happy to hear that tomorrow we might get a little break from the rain.
Yes.
That gives me time to track down some umbrellas, which I suspect may be in the lost and found at my kids' school.
You might even find some rubber boots and a coat or two. So
could use those as well. Thanks so much, Ashley.
Thanks, Krista.
Fears about ticks and tick-borne illnesses like Lyme disease have increased across the country. It's a growing problem, especially in the 3 maritime provinces and Ontario. Now, a mother who watched her 2 sons get very sick has developed a new botanical spray. CTV's Paul Hollingsworth has more.
Wooded areas like this in Nova Scotia are known for having a lot of ticks.
It's actually increased exponentially.
Nicoletta Ferroni had to stop our interview when she noticed a tick on her arm. A biochemist at Acadia University, Ferroni says they carry dangerous diseases.
Particularly Lyme disease caused by the blackleg ticks.
12 years ago, brothers Lucas and Darian Wallet both became sick with Lyme disease caused by tick bites.
I couldn't even get out of bed. It was so bad.
After a heavy dose of antibiotics, both boys returned to normal health, but their mother was determined to make sure it never happened again.
I started to look for my own solution.
Lisa Learning chose to avoid anti-tick chemical sprays and started doing research on natural remedies, using essential oils as the basis for a repellent.
It can vary from one lemongrass or lemon eucalyptus to another lemon eucalyptus.
With outside research help from Ferrone, who is an expert on the effects of lemongrass oil on tick prevention, Learning developed a new non-chemical plant-based spray.
It's that particular compound that repels the ticks.
The body spray, which is now approved by Health Canada, is also pet-friendly.
We are shedding light on understanding how ticks work.
This spray product is popular in the Maritimes. It's available across the country and is sold online and in retail stores. It's being used by a lot of people in Ontario, which also has a growing tick problem.
We cannot really make a differentiation between which provinces has more ticks than others.
The idea started as a homemade remedy. This factory warehouse now produces thousands of bottles of tick repellent.
In the beginning, it was just to protect my kids.
Learning hopes this spray will also protect people across the country from ticks, with the warm summer season about to begin. Paul Hollingsworth, CTV News, Blockhouse, Nova Scotia.
Gas prices have been down lately, but they were behind Canada's rising inflation rate in May. Still to come on CTV News, the latest numbers and what else is taking a bigger bite out of Canadians' budgets. Canada's inflation rate spiked in May up to 3.2%, the highest in 2.5 years. The rate driven largely by the war in the Middle East and higher gas prices. Economists are grappling with what happens to inflation down the road when oil prices stabilize. CTV's John Venevali-Rao breaks down the numbers and the implications.
Recently, drivers have had some good news at the pump, with fuel prices plunging from their highs.
Honestly, it's awesome. I haven't filled gas in a while because it's been a bit unaffordable, but this is great.
But the latest inflation numbers showing rising food prices are continuing to take an ever bigger bite out of the budget.
Yeah, this is crazy. It definitely is frustrating, yeah.
The overall inflation number last month driven up mostly because of gas prices, which soared 33% in May amid the closure of the Strait of Hormuz.
The good news here is we know that since May, gasoline prices have dropped by about 10%. So this might represent the high water mark for inflation this year.
But Statistics Canada noting foods purchased from stores were up 4.3% year over year, the 16th straight month that it has outpaced headline inflation. Fresh fruit was up 5.3%, fresh vegetables up 9%, with notable rises seen for items like lettuce, broccoli, and cauliflower.
Like, no wonder people go for like junk food instead. So it's crazy expensive for produce.
And tomatoes surging up 45%, in part because of poor weather in Mexico and fewer of them being grown there over concerns about U.S. tariffs, with the Conservative leaders seizing on the food inflation data.
Today we learned that Mark Carney has given Canada the worst food price inflation in the G7.
Prices for air travel also rising more than 7% as airlines coped with higher jet fuel costs. And as more AI data centers get built, it's been driving up demand for things like memory and solid-state drives, in part resulting in a 3.9% year-over-year increase in the price of computer equipment, software, and supplies.
Meanwhile, economists say even with the relief at the pumps, inflation could run close to 3% for the next few months. John Benavalli-Rouse, CTV News, Toronto.
It is time now to update our top stories. CTV's Heather Senerin joins us tonight live in studio with the latest. And Heather, we start with what the Region of Waterloo taking over a better tent city could look like.
Well, this week, Regional Council will decide if that will happen or not. For 6 years, a Better Tent City, a tiny home community in Kitchener, has been offering refuge for those with nowhere else to turn. A report says if the region takes over, it could cost $6 million a year. The volunteer-led organization behind it announced its plan to dissolve in May. The Working Center has agreed to step in until mid-July while the region assesses the next steps. A sixth person has passed after the devastating crash in Mapleton Township that killed 5 children. Ontario Provincial Police say the man driving the SUV involved in the crash, a 42-year-old from Brampton, died. The crash happened June 12th. The 5 children who died, ages 4 to 12, were all in a passenger vehicle and siblings in the Durskin family. 5 others, including an infant that were in the same vehicle, were also injured but are recovering. A funeral was held on Saturday for the Durskin children in Wallenstein.
And our web team is following a story about a new way to reach out for help with bylaw infractions in the region.
And it's a new phone line, Krista. It just launched today. Waterloo Regional Police say this new line frees up police, emergency, and non-emergency lines as bylaw calls were handled by them previously. For more information on this story, you can scan the QR code on the bottom left of your screen to get the story on our CTV News app or to download the app right now. You can also visit our website, ctvnewskitchener.ca. Krista.
Helpful information there. CTV's Heather Senerin reporting for us live tonight. Thanks, Heather. The electric vehicle market continues to grow, the latest being Chinese EVs making their way into Canada. Fresh off a trip to China, the industry minister is now in Japan, pushing for even more EVs for the Canadian market. CTV's Judy Trin is in Tokyo, where a larger trade mission is underway.
While in China, the industry minister met with electric vehicle makers BYD, Chery, Geely, and Shanghai Launch. The companies want more access to the Canadian market, so Melanie Jolie pitched manufacturing the vehicles in Canada.
There's a reckoning in the auto sector that you have to build where you sell. And so based on that, these are the conditions to enter a market.
Jolie said she was clear that the operations had to be joint ventures, abide by Canadian labor standards, use Canadian parts, and protect user data. Right now, only 49,000 Chinese EVs are allowed into Canada, but there's concern from Japanese automakers.
Chinese vehicle is very nice. Exterior, interior technology is amazing and also very good price. So I think it's very difficult for us to fight.
2 months ago, Honda halted a planned expansion in Alliston, Ontario to make EVs. The company's Canadian president, Dave Jamieson, blamed U.S. tariff exposure, but also rising competition from low-cost, state-subsidized, non-market-oriented producers.
We're not putting any business in jeopardy. I reject that premise. We are offering the best technologies to Canadians while protecting 500,000 auto workers. And so we want to make sure that we increase the manufacturing footprint of Canada.
Jolie did meet with Honda officials while in Japan. During the interview, she hinted that good news is coming for the company's plant in Alliston, Ontario, but she didn't elaborate when asked if a shelved expansion was going ahead. Judy Trin, CTV News, Tokyo.
Saying goodbye to a titan of the music industry. Clive Davis dies at age 94. We have a look at his remarkable life and all the musicians he mentored after the break.
KW's Bounce 99.5 has the music you just can't quit. Listen all summer for your chance to win. Turn the lights off, carry me home. With Bounce to your backyard.
Grammy Award winner and Rock and Roll Hall of Famer Clive Davis passed away today at 94 years old. His family says he died from an age-related illness at his home in New York City and was surrounded by his loved ones. ABC's Rena Roy takes a look at Davis's legacy and the iconic musicians he mentored.
For more than 6 decades, Clive Davis spent his life looking for voices that could and would define the music of multiple genres and generations. The man with the golden ear is responsible for discovering dozens of powerhouse names in the music industry, from Barry Manilow to Billy Joel. Born on April 4th, 1932, Davis grew up poor in Crown Heights, Brooklyn. After losing both his parents as a teenager, Davis would go on to graduate summa cum laude from New York University in 1953 and Harvard Law in 1956. At 28 years old, he joined Columbia Records as associate counsel. By 35, president of the label. What set Davis apart from everyone else at Columbia Records was his understanding of musical talent before anyone else did. He discovered one of the greatest stars of all time. Whitney Houston, one of her biggest hits, I Want to Dance with Somebody. He discovered that dynamite voice at her mother's church and introduced her to the world on the Merv Griffin Show.
You either got it or you don't have it. She's got it. She got it.
In 2000, he started J Records, where he introduced the world to Alicia Keys with her debut single, Fallen. In 2013, at the age of 80, Davis publicly came out as bisexual in his autobiography, The Soundtrack of My Life, saying he hoped his coming out would lead to a great understanding of bisexuality. Davis won 4 Grammys as a producer, received the Grammys Trustee Award and the President's Merit Award. In 2000, he was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, and in 2011, the theater at the Grammy Museum was named in his honor.
I believe in music. I believe that even in this technologic age, where once again they're questioning the future of what music's role is in people's lives, it's a vital part of people's lives. I can't imagine a world without music.
Rena Roy, ABC News.
A remarkable resume, and what an impact on the music industry. We have more news ahead, including a look at a fundraiser that had eyes on the skies in Cambridge earlier today. But first, let's check in with Ashley.
Well, tomorrow is shaping up to be a beautiful day. I'll break down what tomorrow morning will look like on the way to school or work after this. Stay with us. Here's what's coming up on CTV tonight. E-Talk at 7, followed by The Big Bang Theory. Sullivan's Crossing at 8, and cap your night off with American Ninja Warrior at 9.
Tonight, a police officer among 3 killed in Montreal.
All of a sudden, cops come swarming.
It's a very, very sad day. It's a nightmare.
The frightening scenes added to a surge in gun violence against law enforcement. Later on CTV National News, and watch on Crave.
When you see it happen, send it to CTV News. Text 10400. From your screen to ours. Text 10400.
CTV's Heather Centerin is back with a look at what our team is following for later tonight. Heather.
More than 20 small breed dogs are getting much needed care after they were found in several rural areas of southern Ontario. The Cambridge and District Humane Society says some of them were brought to their shelter. They say many had open wounds, were heavily matted, extremely fearful, and suffering from a highly contagious skin disease. We'll have more on where those dogs are now at 11:30. Krista.
Thanks, Heather. And turning to our wake-up weather, it is, of course, the last week of school, and I know many classes are planning outdoor days, a little bit of extra recess maybe. Yes. are they going to get weather that accommodates that?
Tomorrow, for sure. Tomorrow is shaping up to be an absolutely beautiful day, Krista. We are going to wake up to some really nice temperatures. 11 degrees by 6 a.m., 19 by 10, and sunny conditions. So tomorrow, definitely perfect if you've got some outdoor activities planned at school or at home with the kiddos. Wednesday and Thursday, we might see some rain activity, but let's get through tomorrow first and worry about Wednesday and Thursday on Wednesday and Thursday. Eh?
Exactly. You know what? The last week of school the excitement can't be dampened by a bit of rain.
Gosh,
you kind of just,
Could you imagine if we had a last day at work as an adult for the summer holidays?
Well, you know.
Could you imagine? One day.
Yeah.
Maybe one day. Retirement will come for us one day.
But not yet.
Not yet, no.
Finally for us tonight, one lucky person may have scored a hole-in-one in Cambridge this afternoon without ever teeing off.
It all started with dozens of golf balls being dropped from a helicopter onto the 18th green at the Galt Country Club. That's my kind of golf. This was a fundraiser for KW Accessibility, a nonprofit supporting people with physical disabilities. Donors purchased numbered golf balls.
Once all of them had been dropped, representatives from the organization determined which one was closest to the pin, and the person who paid for that golf ball will be awarded a $10,000 prize. Not retirement money maybe, but still pretty good. And I don't know though, how do you tell which is closest to the pin? There's a lot of golf balls there.
I mean, they've got to, for 10 grand, you imagine there's got to be a measuring tape out somewhere, right?
Or a very, very tiny measuring tape. That is our time tonight. Thank you for joining us. I'll be back at 11:30. We'll see you then.